China NC, sure, the allegation is that it may be used as a political tool, but I don't know where this form of aggression bit is coming to the fore. But China NC, yes, go ahead.
Poonam, Lord Ram is not a political issue. So first understand that when you have certain leaders of the Samajwadi Party, certain leaders of the Congress taking on and suggesting that Ram Mandir and Ayodhya is a political issue, it is not. It is a matter of pride for all Indians, for crores and crores of Hindus and even non-Hindus. The fact that you believe in Lord Ram as a matter of bhakti, shraddha, call it what you want. And this has happened through an absolute consensus through our honorable courts. There you have our Prime Minister talking about Lord Ram as a emblem or a pratik of Ram Rajya, as a symbol of the days to come, where we want to ensure that there is going to be peace, harmony, but a Viksit Bharat and a Bharat which is on the road to being self-reliant in every way. And this is not just economical for every social strata, but as a country at large. Look at what the Trinamool Congress did. Remember what they did during the Ram Navami celebrations. Look at what the Congress's symbolism is, where they are talking. You have leaders of the Congress party, a spokesperson of the Congress party saying that how Rahul Gandhi wanted to revoke what has happened through a special panel, which is obviously factually not possible. But nonetheless, you can just leave everything to Rahul Gandhi's imagination when it comes to being outlandish and absurd. I want to say only two things. Every time you make controversial statements, every time you hit out at our Prime Minister and you hit out at Lord Ram or the Ram Mandir, and every time you don't choose to come for an invitation where you are invited with utmost respect, shows you that you are playing to the gallery, and as we call it, Tushtikaran ki Rajniti. If there is an insulting comment made by a Samajwadi Party member of parliament and their party is mum, I think this speaks about their vote bank appeasement politics. If there is a congressman who says that the Rahul Gandhi's comment on this Ram Mandir verdict was to revoke it in some form, it shows you how absolutely invalid their thought process is, and how they have no care or sentiment towards the people of India. And our Prime Minister is absolutely right when he says the Congress is the same party that followed the Shah Banu template and will continue to do the same kind of controversy irking at the time of elections. If you have no vision plan and no thought process, please don't comment on something that is a matter of belief and sentiment, not just historically but also proven to be in a court of law. If you are going to constantly question our leader and Prime Minister Modi, I think that you are doing a disservice to the crores of Indians who wanted this Ram Mandir and are so elated to have this kind of prosperity, holistic prosperity, let me call it, because it's not just Ayodhya which has been transformed, but even Uttar Pradesh for that matter.
Sure.
And in the days to come, you will have lakhs and crores of women and children and youth and senior citizens and all alike, including international tourism,
Sure.
to a place which is going to be the pratik of India's Bharatiya Ram Rajya.
Sure, but China NC, you say that the Ram Mandir or Lord Ram is not a political tool, it's not a matter of politics aside, but the allegation of polarization is at your doorstep from the opposition, because we see the Prime Minister, we see several BJP leaders often talk about the Ram temple in election rallies. If it's not a poll issue, why talk about it? That's the question they ask.
What is wrong in saying that a Ram Mandir has been built by consensus in record time? That is a sentiment of crores of Indians. Why do we always have to be apologetic about being a Hindu or being proud to be a Hindu or believing in Lord Ram? I want to ask you, Poonam, for 60 years, this country has only played appeasement politics. You have only made sure that the Muslims and the Dalits work as your vote bank. You have not empowered them in their lives, not in their livelihood, not in their education, not in their security. And here you question a matter of sentiment and belief, Shraddha and Astha of crores of Indians. Why should you be apologetic about it, and why shouldn't the Honorable Prime Minister speak about it? And the Congress party has had the audacity to not attend the opening ceremony and then question the intent of the government. This is not a government program. This was a sentiment of crores of Indians that you have a Ram Mandir, you have an inauguration in Ayodhya where people from all walks of life have gone, and the
Sure.
Congress chose to be absent and then make this kind of commentary.
Sure. The Congress attending it, not attending it was a matter of policy for the party, was a matter of principle for the party perhaps, and that's all right for the party to have, Lokesh Jindal. But there are people who were a part of the Congress party who quit the party or were pushed out, like many have claimed, like in the case of Acharya Pramod Krishnan, because they took a certain stance that was seen as pro-Hindutva or pro-Hindu, which is supposed to be the BJP stance. That's something that the Congress didn't want. That's the kind of narrative that we are seeing. Is that what it is? And in the war of narratives, can the Congress try and counter that effectively?
Well, Poonam, just before the Pran Pratishtha, there were many leaders who went and they offered their prayers. Ajay Rai, Avinash Pandey ji, there are so many leaders, hundreds of them, they went and they offered their prayers. The opposition was to the politicization of the issue, not with respect to your personal faith and your personal adherence, personal devotion to the Lord. We must get this straight and clear. So the party says that simply keep religion at a distance, at an arm's length when we are talking about politics. Why to bring in religion? Because that is something which is against the very idea of India. The constitution does not promote meddling of religious affairs with the state and polity. But what is happening is, the moment we have politics meddled with religion, it's a toxic and a dangerous
But where was
outcome
politics being meddled with religion? It wasn't a state government event. It wasn't a central government's event.
Well, then what was
The
head of
invitation
government
came to the fore from the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust.
No, tell me one thing. If that was not the scenario, why didn't the akhadas and the one who had been petitioning in the Supreme Court, their head and the priests going and doing the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, the Prime Minister could have focused more upon the issues pertaining to the economy, society and polity rather than attending that.
But it wasn't the Prime Minister's call. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It was the call of the trust as to who did the Pran Pratishthas, who was invited or who was not invited.
So even if the trust is taking a decision, the Shankaracharyas, they objected to it. It was a cultural festival. It should have been projected as a cultural one. But the moment you introduce the political color to it, it becomes politicized.
Sure.
For the simple issue, the moment you have, for example, even if there is a rocket launch and you have the Prime Minister coming out and giving it a political presentation to it, it is a politicization. So that's very much the manner in which it functions. What should have been there is such religious ceremonies, cultural festivals and expressions, they should have been kept insulated and isolated from the political current
Sure.
altogether.
Sure.